Hey, welcome everybody, and I guess I should begin by saying Happy New Year's to everybody. And I'm just thrilled that you took some time out of a holiday, out of New Year's Day, to come spend it with me. I'm really honored that you did that, and my intent is to add a lot of value to you over the next hour. And not just over the next hour, by the way. This is the first time I'm doing what I'm calling a 5-day challenge. You see, sometimes people ask me advice on certifications. They would ask, what should I go after next? What should be my next certification, and how do I do it? Well, there's not a simple answer to that. And I could tell them, okay, here's what you do to pick the next certification, and here's how you get your hands on experience, and here's how you get everything organized and evaluate yourself and schedule it out and pick your exam date, and here's how you get your training. But it's overwhelming. If I just dump all that on them at once, most people aren't going to do anything. So I thought, let's try something different this year. I always like to have a New Year's Day event, and I thought, especially, this is sort of an unprecedented year. Cisco's calling it Cert Apocalypse, coming up February the 24th, where almost all of their exams are going away and being replaced. Sort of the one exception, for whatever reason, is the CCNA Cyber Ops. Interesting, that's just sticking around. But I thought, let's get together for a period of 5 days. Now, only today is live. You're attending this to sort of as the kickoff session. We're going live today so I can interact with you and answer your questions. But for the next 4 days, you're going to be receiving an email. And that email is going to have a video in it. And there is going to be an action step. I thought if I break my overall advice down and give you a small action step to take each and every day, that's going to have a higher likelihood of you actually following through. So I've broken it down and given you some small action steps every day for 5 days. My goal for you is this. After 5 days, I want you to be set with a very clear expectation for where you're going to go certification-wise in 2020. I want you to know what exam you're going after. I want you to know how you're going to get your hands on experience. You're going to know what is your current proficiency level. You're going to schedule. Your calendar is going to show when you're going to be studying. You're going to have blocks of study time. You're going to know what your exam date is. You're going to be registered for that exam date. That's a little scary. And you're going to know how you're going to get your training. But we're going to break that down over 5 days. Here in day one, our goal is simple. We just want you to clearly define and identify what exam's next for you. I mean, I said Cisco's replacing just about everything next month. I think it's probably a good idea for us to review what the new options are. And I want you to pick what's best for you, and I'll give you some guidance to do that. Right now, as we get started, I'm just curious. What is maybe I know some people joining us today are not currently certified. They're not Cisco certified. But if you are, can you just chat into me in the chat interface and let me know what is your current highest level of certification? Are you a CCENT? Are you a CCNA? Are you an NP? Are you an IE? Any Cisco architects out there? I think there's only like a dozen of those in the world, so probably not. But let me know your highest level of Cisco certification if you would. Oh, by the way, I'm actually coming to you through a couple of different platforms. Many of you signed up for the 5-day Cert Challenge on my site, and if you signed up, then you're going to get that email for the next 4 days, I guess, after this, to make a total of 5 days. Some people are watching on YouTube. Now, here's a big caution. Those of you that are watching on YouTube right now, if you didn't sign up for the 5-day Cert Challenge, you just saw, hey, Kevin's live, and let's go check it out. You're not going to get the emails. You're not going to get days 2 through 5 of the Cert Challenge. So let me give you a link really quick. I'm just going to paste this to our YouTube audience. This is how you get signed up for that 5-day Cert Challenge. Otherwise, you're not going to get the next 4 days, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on that. Now, let's see what people are saying. A lot of people, we've got a CCENT, we got CCNA, ICND2. Just passed. Patrick says, just passed my CCNA. Awesome. Not certified at all. We got a couple of CCNAs from Jay. Jay saying route switch and security. Okay, we've got cyber ops, a lot of NAs, CCNA route switch. Let me check my other chat interface because since we're kind of broken down into two different groups of people watching right now, I helped the NP collaboration and 4 CCNAs. That's awesome. CCENT, CCNA, CCNA, CCIA. Oh, awesome. Let's see. Yeah, Kapil, or pardon me if I mispronounced that. They've got the same high level certifications that I do. They got a CCI in both route switch and collaboration. Well, wherever you are, I'm just kind of curious as to where everybody's starting right now. Wherever you are, I want us to get really clear on what your next step is. We don't want to become stagnant and just do the same thing over and over. I don't know about you, but I love to always keep learning. So here's our agenda for the day. We're going to talk about how Cisco has done this massive restructuring of their certifications. And we'll talk about what's new with CCNA. We'll talk about CCNP. We'll talk about CCIA. We'll talk about how the recertification process works. And I want you to define your next move. We'll take these one at a time. And those of you that have joined me before on these live webcasts, you know that I always like to give a special offer for some of my training for people that take the time out of their day. I really appreciate it, to attend live. So I've got a couple of deals for you that I'll sprinkle in throughout today's session that are only available to those attending live. So if you're watching this on replay, because if you sign up for the Cert Challenge, you'll be able to see the replay for the next 5 days or so. These are only for people that are attending live. So I pre-apologize if you're disappointed for that, but these are just for our live attendees, the offers that I've got coming up for you in just a few moments. But let's get into it, shall we? Oh yeah, and of course there'll be plenty of Q&A time. Those of you that are not familiar with me, and I need to, let me take my picture off screen. Otherwise, I'm going to start obscuring some of the I'll be obscuring some of the text that's appearing on screen. But those of you that just sort of stumbled upon this and you're not really familiar with me, again, my name's Kevin Wallace. I've got a couple of CCIAs. I'm actually a CCIA emeritus. I've got a CCIA in route switch and collaboration. Been doing this stuff for a while, for over 20 years now. Can you believe it? And no, over 30 years. I started in '89. That's 31 years ago, isn't it? I started with Cisco's very first router, the old Cisco AGS Plus router, and I taught courses with with various Cisco learning partners. I did that for about 14 years, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to start doing this full time. Before I started doing this full time on my own with my own company, I was a network designer down at Walt Disney World in Florida. Out of all the employers I've had, I love Disney. I'm a huge Disney fan. And I was one of 5 network designers. I designed the network that tied together the Magic Kingdom and Epcot and the Animal Kingdom and what's now called the Hollywood Studios and a bunch of the resorts. Just a great, great experience there. And written a bunch of books and done a bunch of video courses for Cisco Press, the folks over at Pearson. I've been doing that for the last 17 years. And I've been honored to be a distinguished speaker both times I spoke at Cisco Live. Bottom line is, this is not something that I take casually. This is what I have lived and breathed for 3 decades, and I am super stoked to share it with you today. First up, let's talk about CCNA. And notice I did not say CCNA route switch or CCNA security, because as of February the 24th, there's people make the joke about Lord of the Rings, where there's going to be one CCNA to rule them all. They've been pretty much eliminated with one exception. So here's what I want you to know about CCNA. No longer do you have the option of taking either one exam or 2 exams. I used to call it the one and done approach. You would take exam number 200-125. In fact, you still can through February the 23rd. And that one exam would get you your CCNA and route switch. But for people that didn't have a lot of experience, they were just kind of wading into this, they did what I call the 2-step approach. They would take ICND 1, that would get them their CCENT certification. They would follow that up with ICND 2, and that would get them their full CCNA certification. And back last fall, I started preaching to this community. I said, if you're working on your CCNA currently, or you're just about to start, there's still time. So I pounded it into everybody's mind for a couple of months, until right about the 1st of December. Yeah, get started with the old one now. You can get going now. You don't have to wait. Well, after that, I think you should wait because it's such a daunting task to get ready for the certification with only maybe 2.5 months left. I don't want you to do all this preparation and not clear the exam. So I stopped declaring that you should go for the old exam. I stopped saying that right around the 1st of December, and I started saying, yeah, let's get you ready for the new one. So when it does drop on February the 24th, you're going to be ready to rock it. And this one exam, as we're going to be seeing, I think I think it's a good thing to get it if you already had it, or if you think that you're going to get it before February the 24th because you've already been studying for months. I think that's great because if you do get it now, you're automatically going to be grandfathered in, and you're going to get the brand new shiny CCNA on February the 24th. And it's going to count like the new CCNA. It's not like you're going to go to an employer and they say, I see you have a CCNA, but it's the old CCNA. We really wanted somebody with the new CCNA. No, you're going to have the new CCNA. You're going to be grandfathered into it. So that's awesome. But if you've not started studying, if you're not close to that exam, I wouldn't start now. There's just not enough time for you to comfortably do that. I've had the question oftentimes, well, I don't have my full CCNA, but I've got my CCENT. Oh, am I going to be grandfathered in? Will I be given credit for something? Nope. Unfortunately, the CCENT certification gets you absolutely nothing on February the 24th. Now, the good news for those of you that are starting the new exam and you're thinking, oh, I missed out. It's too late. It's too late to go after the old exam. Here's the good news. I actually think, now obviously nobody knows because we haven't seen the new exam yet. I think it's going to be easier. I think it's going to be a lot easier than the current exam. If you look through the exam blueprint, it's only about 75% of the content that we had in the prior exam, or the existing exam, I should say. So there's less topics. And because we're covering so many different areas, it's not just CCNA route switch. It covers security and wireless, a little bit of programmability, a little bit of cloud, and of course, still routing and switching. It covers so many topics, it doesn't go super deep into any of those topics. I think it's a lot simpler. For example, routing protocols. That used to be one of the major topics on CCNA route switch. And there used to be a lot of different routing protocols that you had to know. In the current exam, 200-125, you had to know RIP version 2, OSPF version 2, OSPF version 3, EIGRP for IP version 4, EIGRP for IP version 6. You had to know a little bit about BGP as well. And if you look at the new exam blueprint, there's only one routing protocol you need to know, OSPF version 2. That's it. And they've also taken a lot of the harder topics, in my opinion, off of that exam, and they moved them up to the NP level. Like IPSLA, I thought that was the toughest topic on the current exam. It's gone. I think this is going to be a much simpler exam. One key or one clue that this is going to be a simpler exam is there's no troubleshoot verb on the exam blueprint. We're going to go out and take a look at the exam blueprint here in a moment. But you can sort of judge how deep they're going to go into a topic by the verb they use on the exam blueprint. They might say, be able to describe something, or explain something, or configure something. But if it said troubleshoot something, that means you need to know it at a very, very deep level. And that verb is gone on the new CCNA. So I think it's going to be significantly easier. And as I mentioned before, all the other track-specific CCNAs, they're gone with one exception, and that is the CCNA CyberOps. Even though it's not a CCNA, they did add one other associate level certification, and that's the DevNet Associate. And that's for people that are wanting to get up to speed on network programmability. Now, what I'd like to do now is go out and take a look at the exam blueprint. Here's how you can find it. If you go to, I'm going to type this in the chat interface, just one second. So you'll have this. One moment, just typing that in now. You're going to go to cisco.com/next level. I'm going to paste that in the interface for both our YouTube friends And let me also put it in the other one. One moment. Okay, that's the link that we're sitting at right now. You're going to go, let me back up just a little bit here. You're going to start on this page. This is the cisco.com/next level page. And you're going to scroll down toward the bottom under certifications. And this is the new stuff. Whether you're going to be a CCNA or ENP or IE or one of the DevNet professionals, this is where you can go. Now let's just take CCNA. I think that's probably that's the most popular one, obviously, since that's the introductory level one. But if we go under CCNA and we scroll down a bit and click on exams, there's just the one exam. We can click on that exam, and there's a link to the PDF file. Oh, if we click on exam topics, there's a link to the PDF file that shows us every individual topic. And I've actually got it pulled up here in a Adobe Acrobat Reader. This is the exam blueprint for the new CCNA exam, and you're going to be doing this. On day 3. You're going to be going out and this is going to be one of your assignments for day 3. You're going to be downloading the exam blueprint for the exam that you select today. And the topics are a little bit different than what we had in the previous exam. For example, there's a much larger focus on wireless technologies. There's more security. This just sort of popped off the page right here. Dynamic ARP inspection, DHCP snooping. Those used to be in the CCNP switch course. They actually pull those down to CCNA. They're giving us more topics on automation and programmability. We're talking about things like CRUD and Puppet and Chef and Ansible, and those are foreign terms to a lot of people that have been working just at the command line with routers and switches. But that's how we're going to get to that blueprint. And you can see that right now only 10% is going to be focused on automation and programmability. And I point that out because when we get to CCIE here in a few moments, that's a whole nother story. This is the future, folks. Automation and programmability, that is the future for network professionals. And there is a lot of it on the CCIE lab. We'll be talking about that in just a few moments. But back to our story. That's a look at the CCNA exam blueprint. Now, I want to take any questions that you have about CCNA for those of you that are interested in going after CCNA. If you have any CCNA specific questions, I'd like you to go ahead and ask those now if you would, and I'll be checking questions in both the YouTube interface as well as as my own portal. And we've got a lot of people on right now. By my count, we've got, I'm just doing some quick math in my head, we've got over 500 people online right now. So I'll pre-apologize. I probably will not have time to answer everyone's questions today. But 500 people, that could be a lot. But if you've got questions, go ahead and start chatting those in now. Do me a favor. Put a couple of question marks in front of your questions so I know it's a question for me and it's not just you guys chatting amongst yourselves, which I encourage that. I think it's great to network with other people. But if it's for me, go ahead and put some question marks in front of that so I can easily spot it. While you're doing that, I want to give you your first offer of the day, your first discount. Beginning next week, I'm doing my first ever CCNA Masterclass Live for the new exam. I did a few of these last year. They were super successful. People love them. This is where you're going to join me live online, much like this. You're going to join me live for about 16 hours of training. And some of the benefits you get you get a double CCA. You get myself as your instructor. That's uncommon at the CCNA level. I'm going to be recording each of the sessions. I'm going to be downloading the replays of those sessions. And you'll also be able to download a PDF of the course slides that we have. And I'm doing something beyond just the regular 16 hours of instruction. Every Saturday evening for the 4 weeks that this lasts, I'm going to go live again for about an hour or so, and I want to take your questions. Kind of like in college, you wanted to go see your professor outside of class time to ask questions. You're confused about something. I want to carve out some time weekly for you guys so you can come ask me questions. And the way it's worked in the past, I normally get the questions handled in about 20 minutes, and then I show some extra content to you. I do a little extra teaching. Since you bothered to show up, I want to go deeper into some of the topics that we've talked about those weeks. And there's also a learner community. This is where everybody enrolled in the course, they can get in there and they can help one another. I mean, I don't want to be the sage on stage that has all the answers and everybody has to depend on me. I want you to work with one another. And when I first tried this, when I ran my first masterclass, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Because, personally, I'm actually an introvert, big time. I don't really get into the community scene and do a lot of posting and things like that. And I thought, I'm not sure if this is going to take off or not, but I was super proud of the attendees. They really jumped in and helped. Somebody was having trouble with this, and they said, here, email me. We'll set up a Skype call. I'm going to help you get this installed. They really cared and helped about each other. I was so proud of them. And you're going to have access to that learner community. For hands-on practice, Packet Tracer Labs is all you need for CCNA, and it's free. You're going to be able to go out to Cisco and download Packet Tracer for Windows, for Mac. It's available on Mac. Can you believe it? Is a version 7.3, and I think it might be available on Linux as well. But you're going to go download your copy, and you're going to install that on your machine, and then we're going to give you some Packet Tracer Labs. Now, what I mean by a Packet Tracer Lab is we're going to give you a PKT file that you download and you load it up into your copy of Packet Tracer. And we give you a set of tasks, and we also give you a video. A video shows what we're going to be learning in that lab, and then we say, pause the video, do it on your own, and then you come back and we give you a complete walkthrough solution. So I'm a big proponent of getting some hands-on practice. And a lot of people that have contacted me, and they're a little bit concerned. They say, is this a little too advanced for me? I'm just kind of a beginner. I'm just getting into this. Well, number one, this is Cisco's introductory level certification. But yeah, I realize if you have almost zero or very little networking experience, it could be intimidating. So here's what I did. I've got a basics course. It's called CCNA Foundations. And I sell it. I've been selling it for a few months. I did it last year for $197. And if you're brand spanking new to networking, go through this course first. You can go through it in just a few hours, and it's going to lay the foundation for you. It's going to introduce a lot of terminology. It's going to lay that foundation you need for taking the live CCNA course. So I'm just going to throw that one in case anybody's concerned about not having enough experience. Now, here's the class schedule. We're going to begin next Tuesday. And we're going to meet for 2 hours an evening on Tuesday and Thursday for 4 weeks. 2 hours a night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do that 8 evenings. Here are the specific dates during January where we're going to be meeting. And if you have to miss one of these, because I don't imagine that everybody that enrolls is going to be able to attend every session, early the next day at the latest, you're going to have a replay available in your members area, and you'll be able to watch a session that you may have missed. And the office hours, every Saturday, we're going to go live for about an hour. I'm going to take your questions and then probably add on some additional content. We're going to do that for each of the 4 weeks. And here are the dates for those Saturdays. So this is a 4-week class that you're going to be attending live, and you're going to be able to ask me a lot of questions. Now, the course tuition for this is $399. Compare that, if you would, to a Cisco Learning Partner class that you would pay probably over $3,000 for. So this is just a fraction of what you would pay for a Cisco Learning Partner. And and of course, I've worked for Cisco Learning Partners. They're great. But honestly, if you take a course from a CLP and pay about 8, 9, 10 times as much, probably not going to get a double CCI instructor. You're not going to get replays. You're not going to be able to Meet them outside of outside of class time for office hours. You're not going to have that ongoing community. You're not going to have the packet tracer labs. You're not going to be able to rewatch whatever you forgot. You're not going to remember everything the first time. You want to be able to go back and rewatch it. So I think this is an incredible value. However, for people that register early, around the 1st of December, I think it was December 1st, December 2nd, I said, all right, I'm going to give people an early registration discount. So instead of paying $3.99, I'm going to give them 20% off of this just for registering early. And I thought I'll do that through the month of December and then through the final days in January before we launch the class. We'll just sell it at regular price. But then I was talking with people on my team, and we thought that, well, you know what? I'm doing that live webinar on New Year's Day. Let's give those guys the discount too. So we said, okay, well, we'll push it out a day. We'll allow the early bird registration price to go until tomorrow. So today is the last day. Today at midnight Eastern Standard Time, it's automatically set to go away. So that the price goes away at midnight. And something else, by the way, here's how you order it. Again, do this before midnight to get your 20% discount. Just go to kwtrain.com/MC for masterclass, MC20. And having worked with students a long time, I know a lot of people have good intentions. They think they're going to do it, but I know sometimes you need a little bit of a push to get off the fence. If you're on the fence about that, I'm going to do something that should make this a no-brainer for you. I've got a brand new course that we're launching at KW Train. It was done by one of my good friends, Michael Shannon. He's a longtime instructor I used to teach with. And he created, just for us, a course on cloud computing. It's called Getting Started with Cloud Computing. He is an expert in cloud, and we all know that this is going to be a big paradigm shift in the networking world, and I want to give this to you free. But here's the requirement. You've got to purchase during the webinar today. If you purchase during the webinar today, before I close the webinar down, you'll be able to get this for free. I went in and added this morning, so everybody that's already bought the course, you got it, no sweat. But I'm going to go in right after the webinar, and I'm going to remove this. So this is a webinar-only offer. If you're watching this on replay, sorry you weren't able to make the live event, but yeah, I'm trying to do, honestly, it's an ethical bribe. I do want to push you. I am trying to create urgency because I want you to do the next right thing, as they said in the Frozen 2 movie. I just saw that last night, and they were talking about do the next right thing. So for many of you, this is the next right thing, and I want to push you to do it by giving you this $200 course for free, in addition to the other $200 course for free. But that's what I got for you. And I'll leave that on screen. Be sure and go ahead and go to that link while I take your questions. Let's see. We've got a couple of questions. Kevin, are you going to be doing any Udemy courses for 200-301? No, I'm not. James said, I'm still having problem getting the CCNA blueprint. Yeah, it's cisco.com/next level, and just scroll down to CCNA, click on the exam, click on exam topics, and there'll be a link for it. Let's see. Have you started the IT Insider subscription as of yet? Oh, somebody follows me really close, and they know that we're having a membership beginning this year. We're scheduling it to begin the beginning of February. So I'll probably do another live event around the beginning of February to let you know about that. But just a preview, I wasn't even going to talk about that today, but just as a preview, that's where we're going to have sort of a group of people that show up, and we'll do a live training every month with you. And we'll answer your questions live. A lot of people want to work with me in person for whatever reason, and that's really the only opportunity to do that. And it's a really small group. We limit the size of the group. And yeah, you pay a small fee monthly and you get to attend live. And we also give you some extra training. And we try to give you the latest and greatest stuff that I'm learning and doing. We get that to you first. We take really good care of people in our group. We did have something called Diver Down that we ran for years. It was super successful. People loved it. But we had a couple of diver downs. One was focused on security, one was focused on route switch. And with Cisco's change and all the certs, they just don't make sense anymore. The topics are different. So we thought, okay, we're going to scrap those. And that I gave up a lot of money to do that, but I didn't want to take money if I wasn't adding the value. So we just said, everybody, okay, everything you've got, you get to keep it forever. Thanks for being a member. We're going to redo this membership thing, and it's going to be called IT Insider. And yeah, we're getting that worked out. Let's take a few more questions. Let's see. Probably won't win the free class. However, how does one sign up and how much? You sign up by going to kwtrain.com/MC20. And you see the price on screen. All right, let me go over to our other chat interface. Let's see. Just reading through this. Here's a long one. I've got your CCNA bundle for the current test, which included route switch fundamentals. Obviously, you want the latest products, but are there changes significant enough to justify the new bundle? What are the key changes? You can look at both blueprints right now, and you'll see exactly what the topics are. We covered all the topics on the relevant blueprints, but yeah, there is some overlap, but there's a lot more security. There's a lot more wireless. There's a lot more network programmability. It would be an effort to take the existing material and try to add on select training to make it all work out. Let's see. Taking this masterclass will do to pass the new exam, or would you need to buy the book and other material as well? That'll do. I don't know about you. Personally, I'm a visual learner. So taking the new masterclass, we're going to give you every single thing you need to be successful on that exam. If you play full out with us, because we're going to be giving you homework, you're going to be doing labs, you're going to be doing practice questions, you're going to be asking questions about anything you don't understand, you're going to be attending 16 plus hours of training, including office hours. We're going to get you ready if you'll really commit to this. So no, yeah, if you want a book, that's cool too, but you don't need that. Let's see. Let's take one more question. Somebody says, what's the link for the cloud computing course if I just want to buy that? We don't even sell it separately yet. We haven't launched it. It's that new. Literally, we just finished it about 2 weeks ago, and I've not even launched it yet. It's created. We just haven't made it available for sale yet individually, but I'm giving it to you guys first. You're the first ones that have the opportunity to get that. All right. Great set of questions there. Let's go ahead and move on with our next topic, which is CCNP. Just chatting with some of the people, or seeing some of the comments coming in before class today. I know a lot of people are going after NP. Let's talk about it. One of the things I love about the new CCNP is it only takes 2 exams to get your CCNP. That is such a relief. I mean, I'm a collaboration guy. And to get the CCNP collaboration as it stands right now before the update, it's a pain. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 exams you have to take. There's not even books available for some of them. It's really, really difficult. And just passing all these exams, it takes forever to get your CCNP sometimes. Well, the good news is now, 2 exams and you're done. There's a core exam for whatever track you select, and then you can specialize in a particular area of that track. So it's only 2 exams. I love it. And there are a new set of exams. We've got the DevNet Professional for the programming group. We've got CCNP Enterprise, which is sort of the replacement for Route Switch. I did a survey earlier last year, and by far, CCNP Enterprise, that's what most people are going to be going for. That is by far the most popular. There is still CCNP Collaboration. It's really dropped in popularity. I had only 14% of respondents want to go after collaboration. That was a shocker. CCNP Data Center, that's still there. CCNP Security is still there, and Service Provider is still there. Do you notice, though, the CCDP, the Design Professional, that's gone. Wireless, that's gone. So it's a new set of exams. Oh, here's something else that just blows my mind. You don't have to have your CCNA to do this. If you're gutsy enough and if you've got enough experience, there's the option. You can go straight for the CCNP without even taking your CCNA. Now, I think that's a bad idea. I think looking at the NA, the NP, and the IE blueprints, I've spent a lot of time really dissecting those. I'd really want you to start at the ground zero. Start at the NA, because you're going to be building an NP and you're going to be building an IE. Don't skip the NA. And I've asked a lot of other people in the community. I haven't found one person yet that says it's a good idea to skip the NA and go for the NP. I think it's a bad idea, but it's interesting. Now, a lot of people are going into February the 24th, and they've already got some stuff done. They might have passed the route exam and the switch exam for their CCNP route switch, but they've not passed T-Shoot. Does that give them anything? And when it first came out, I was just flooded with questions saying, okay, Kevin, I've got this and this. What's that going to give me? And there's just too many combinations and permutations for me to answer everybody's questions. Here's the cool thing. Please write down this URL, bit.ly/CCNP migration. That's a little shortcut link I made for you. And it's going to take you to, if I can find it here, this page. Here we go. And this says, all right, what do you have now, or what are you currently working towards? Let's see if any exams you've already passed will give you any credit in the new track. Now, notice, you may have started down the wireless track. There is no wireless NP, but you can still get some credit from it. Now, most people, the majority, they're going to be CCNP route switch people. And with CCNP route switch, if you've passed the route and the switch exam by themselves, then that's going to give you the core exam. There's a new exam coming out next month called Encore, ENCOR, short for Enterprise Core. And if you already have your route and switch exams passed, you're going to get grandfathered into the equivalent of having the Encore exam. And if you have your full CCNP route switch, you're going to get the new CCNP in Enterprise. What about those people that are going after wireless because there is no NP wireless anymore? Let's say, well, I've taken this wireless design course. Is that going to get me anything? Well, it's going to give you your specialization towards CCNP Enterprise. And if you want to get your CCNP Enterprise, you just got to take the Encore exam, and that'll get you there. So this tool is just invaluable for playing what-if games. What if I got this? Is it going to get me that? Again, the link that I'd like you to write down is bit.ly/CCNP migration. And the CCNP Enterprise exam specifically, we'll talk about that one because it's the most popular by far. Here are the different concentration exams you can go for. If you are a design person, and no longer can you get your CCDP, but you can get your Enterprise NP with a design concentration. You can go with designing Cisco Enterprise networks or designing Cisco Enterprise wireless networks. But I did a really thorough survey on this, and there's no question. Just overwhelmingly, people say, I'm going to go for these two exams. Encore, which is the core exam, and a NARCE. A NARCE is very close to the troubleshooting exam. We'll go out and take a look at that exam blueprint right now. In fact, let's go take a look at the Encore exam blueprint, if I can find it. Let's see, it's over on... I've got a tab here. Here's the Encore exam blueprint. Now, this is sort of lightweight still. I mean, I think this is much easier than the current route exam. Because, for example, let me just scroll. Now, there's a lot of new stuff on here, obviously. There's all sorts of SD-WAN stuff. Love that. SD access. We've got stuff with... a lot of data center stuff that wasn't here before. Again, because we're not just focused on route switch. This is enterprise stuff. So yes, we're going to go into wireless, and we're going to go into data center. We're going to go into programmability and stuff we didn't go into before. But this is what makes smoke coming out of my ears, just because I'm so surprised. Look at this. Under infrastructure section, look at the routing protocols you got to know. Now, in the current route exam, you've got to know RIP NG, OSPF version 2, version 3, ISP for IP, or EIGRP for IP version 4, for version 6. You've got to know BGP for IP version 4. You've got to know multi-protocol BGP. Look at this. The only routing protocols you've got to know really at any depth are OSPF and eBGP. You have to know some of the characteristics of EIGRP, but you don't need to know how to configure it. A lot of these things are very high level. So I think this is a lot easier than the route exam. Now, if we go down here and take a look at some of the network programmability stuff, a lot of that is falling under, let me scroll down and find it. Here we go. Under automation, that's 15%. So we went from 10% programmability stuff at NA, now we're up to 15%. It's going to, spoiler alert, it's going to be a lot more when we get to the CCA. So there's a lot of extra stuff here dealing with programmability. We go even deeper into security than we did in the previous route exam, because route wasn't really focused on security. Now we're focused on all these different enterprise technologies. And after you pass that, it looks like the most popular exam after that to complete your NP enterprise is going to be a NARCI. So some of you listening to me right now, you may already have your NP route switch. Or, well, let me put it this way. Maybe you've already got route and switch passed, but you don't have T-shoot passed. You're probably going to be taking this instead, because you're automatically going to get that encore inherited or grandfathered. Now, I compare this to the T-shoot exam because this exam, it's full of troubleshooting. Look at that. Troubleshoot this, troubleshoot that, troubleshoot, troubleshoot, troubleshoot. This is almost a direct replacement for the old T-shoot exam. Oh, and something else I want you to know about this. The other blueprints I've been going through, it's just page after page of stuff, of topics. This is short. Look at this. Page 1, we've got less than a page there, and we've got a page there. It's like a page and a half of topics. This is the shortest exam blueprint that I've seen since Switch, which is also really, really short. But that's a look at some of the NP level exams that many of you are going to be taking. Now, do we have any questions on NP level stuff that you'd like to ask? Again, let's take a quick Q&A break where you're going to be prefacing your questions with question marks, so I'll know it's a question for me. And while you're doing that, I want to let you know about another webinar-only offer that I have for you, and it's for that main course that you're going to be taking when you go into your NP studies. It's Encore. Encore, and there's the exam number. They've updated the exam number, by the way, to 350-401. We are currently... in fact, we started this in late October. We're now building, Charles and I are building the new Encore course. I would guess that we're over halfway done right now, and it's going to be complete by the end of next month, by the end of February. But I know a lot of you want to get started now. So what we're doing is allow you to go ahead at a discounted rate and buy it now. And here's what I mean. Right now, we're putting in new content on pretty much a weekly basis. Maybe we didn't this week because it was a holiday, but we put new content in on a weekly basis. For the last day or so, I've been shooting tons of BGP video, for example, and we've got lots and lots of hours of content already created, ready to watch, ready to go right now. After class today, you could start watching it. And we add new content weekly. And when I say we're adding new content, it's we're adding videos, we're adding practice questions, we're adding viral labs. So if you buy Cisco Viral, which I recommend you do if you're going after this certification, you buy that from Cisco, we'll give you a .viral file that you can load into your copy of Viral. And we again give you an accompanying video that says, here's what you're going to be accomplishing. Here are your tasks. We pause the video. You do it on your own. You come back and we walk through the complete solution with you on the video. And it's going to be done by the end of next month. But it'll probably take almost that long to get through all the videos that we've already got created. And what happens after that? You can download it. You could go out after class today and download hours and hours and hours of content. And people ask, is it going to expire? Do I have to pay for this every year? No, it's downloadable. You keep it forever. There is no time limit on this. Buy it once and you got it. And this is not only the core exam for CCNP Enterprise. Here's what's amazing. I love what Cisco did here. Remember, for those of you that have taken your CCA, you've got to take the written exam for your CCA before you can go do the lab. And those written exams are notorious for being just crazy hard. It's almost like they're being hard for just the sake of being hard. I really dislike those exams. I don't think some of them that I've taken, they're not well written. They're just trying to make you fail. I don't like them at all. but it's just what you had to do. Well, now you can pass the Encore exam. That's your written. You now qualify to go take the CCA lab. That's pretty amazing. Now, the price for this, the list price, now, by the way, I did not come up with this price of $4.99. I'm under a contract with Pearson, the Cisco Press folks, where we have to offer the same price on our websites because we have a licensing agreement going on. So this is a price set by Pearson, but they do allow me to offer occasional discounts. So I thought, hey, this is a pre-release thing. I want to give you a big discount. So I want to offer you today 25% off. I want to give you 25% off this course because you're being patient. You know it's not completely done, but it'll be done next month. So you can save 25% right now. And just like I did with the CCNA masterclass a few moments ago, by the way, here's the link to order that and get your 25% off. I want to make sure that you make the decision right now. And to sort of push you over the edge, I'm going to give you a webinar-only bonus. And your webinar-only bonus that goes away at the end of today's webinar, again, my apologies for those of you that aren't able to join us live. I'm really trying to do a right thing here and help people get off the fence and make the right decision for them. So I'm including something that you cannot even buy separately on our website. I mentioned the diver down sessions that I did for years. I went in and handpicked 5 of those sessions that I think are particularly valuable for Encore candidates. There's DM VPN training, IPSLA, troubleshooting routing protocols, multicast, RACLs, VACLs, and PACLs. That's a router access control list, VLAN access control list, port access control lists. It's going to let you go deeper into that content beyond what you need for the exam. And people paid $49 a month for that. So this is we're talking about a $245 value right here. I'm just going to give you that for free if you pull the trigger now and you purchase before today's webinar ends. So that's what I got for you. Go to kwtrain.com/ notice the spelling, by the way. There's no E at the end of Encore. It stands for Enterprise Core, but it's ENCOR. So go to ENCOR 25. Don't put an E on the end of that. And that's going to give you your 25% discount. And that's set to expire sometime over the next few days. So that's a very limited time offer as well. But let's take a look at your questions that you got coming in. Let's see other questions. One second here. Let's see. Any changes in the lab setup approach for the new CCNA and CCNP route switch? The main difference, I would say, is the addition of a Cisco wireless LAN controller. What I did when I was working with this, I'll tell you what I did. I went to eBay and I bought one for $49. You can get Cisco wireless LAN controllers online on eBay for like $49. Now they might not have the latest software, but it's going to let you go in and go through all the menu system. But when I designed the videos for those wireless topics, I wanted to make it where you didn't have to do that. So I go through demos of every single thing you need to do on the exam. And I say, see this? We're going to click here. We're going to fill out this field. We're going to say save. So if you just watch those videos a couple of times, you can really get away from even having to have the hardware unless you just want to. Let's see. Kevin, please put the link for downloading the other 4-day video sessions. Oh, okay. Oh, 1 second. Let me do that again. It's not a download link right now. This is on YouTube. Somebody's asking that. Yeah, you're going to sign up for the 4-day or the 5-day Cert challenge, and you're going to receive an email for the next 4 days. Today is live. The next 4 days, you're going to get an email. There's going to be a link to a video, and there's going to be a short assignment for you to do that day. I'm challenging you to do a small action over 5 days. Let's take a look at a few other questions from people that are coming in through my portal. Let's see. do you have a recommended hardware list for CCNA and CCNP lab environment in terms of routers, switches, WLCs, and other software versions? Actually, for CCNA candidates, I recommend just Cisco Packet Tracer. For CCNP candidates, I recommend Viral. If you want to go hardware, I would buy 3 routers and 3 switches. I'd buy 3 2911 routers. I would buy a 3750 switch, and I would buy 2 2960 switches. That's what I would buy. And maybe the wireless LAN controller as well. Let's take one more question before we get into our CCA. Let's see. Trying to find something that's going to... Oh, yeah, somebody says Viral. What am I talking about? Yeah, Viral, that's Cisco's router emulator. You're going to be learning more about that tomorrow in day 2 of the challenge. I'm going to be showing you Viral tomorrow, but that is a way for you to emulate a wide variety of Cisco gear. Lots of different kinds of routers and switches, and you can have some containers in there, and you can have Linux boxes. It's pretty amazing what you can do. But yeah, that's Cisco's network emulator. Huge fan of that. We'll be talking more about that in the video that you will receive tomorrow if you signed up for this. All right, let's move on to CCIE now. This is a big commitment. I don't want you going into the CCIE if you're not really committed. You don't know that it's really for you, because it is a time commitment. It will put a toll on your life. Just to give you an example, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I just want to make sure, because I've seen so many people go into it and they don't finish. They realize what a commitment it is, how it's impacting their life. You really got to want it. For me, in the last CCIE I went after, I try to keep rough count of how many hours I studied. It took me about 1,600 hours of study to pass that exam. I failed the first time. I was able to pass the second time, fortunately. Odds are on that, that was my voice CCIE, which is now collaboration. Yeah, it normally took people an average of 3 times to pass that. It took a toll on my health. My family was super supportive, but I studied every day from sometime in August to when I took the exam in March. I took Christmas off, but every other day I studied every single day. So bottom line, it is a big commitment. But if it's for you, and I think you know if it's for you, I remember when I was decided to go after it, I was telling my wife, okay, I don't really have like a career move here. There's not some sort of a game plan where I say, if I'm going to get my CCA, then I'm going to be able to do all these great things. I just really, really want it. I just needed it. I had a strong desire for it. Now, I don't know about your particular beliefs, but personally, I'm a Christian, and I think when you have a desire for something like that, if you look at the Latin roots of the word desire, it means day, sire, like a horse has a father, that's a sire. So desire actually means from the father. And I think if you have a desire like that, it comes from somewhere. And I think if I had that desire, then I had been equipped with what it took to achieve it. Took a lot, but I did. I got a couple of CCIEs, and I don't regret it at all. Probably don't want to go after another one at this point in my life, but I'm glad I got the ones that I did. Now let's focus on CCIE Enterprise Infrastructure, because that's going to be the most popular one. The great news is there's no more written exam that was just crazy hard. It was ridiculously hard. Now you just pass Encore, which I think is going to be easier than the current route exam. It's going to be a very fair way of getting qualified to take the lab. And they announced something new. They said, if you've been a CCA for 20 years, we're going to make you a CCA for lifetime. For life. You don't have to keep recertifying. And I've been a CCA for 19 years. So actually it'll be 20 years August of this year. So that will be interesting to see what happens there, because I've come in and out and of emeritus status, and I'm not sure how they're going to treat that, and I've asked within Cisco, they're not sure either, but yeah, 20 years as a CCIE, you get to be it for a lifetime. You don't have to recertify as often, which I think is great. It's every 3 years instead of every 2 years now. Now let's take a look at the blueprint for CCNP Enterprise. Now, obviously, just about everything networking you need to know for this. There's a lot of topics. I mean, a lot of topics. The main thing I want to point out here, let me scroll down. Pardon the scroll. I hope that doesn't make anybody sick. But I've been talking about how important programmability is to networking. That really is the way we're going to be doing networking in the future. Notice this: infrastructure automation and programmability. So that's a programmability topic. That's 15%, but we're not done yet. Let me scroll up. I think I missed it here. Where was it? Where was that? Yes, software-defined infrastructure. That's also programmability. So we've got two different sections, 25% and 15%. Let's see, that's 25 plus 15, 40%. That blew my mind when I saw this. Can you imagine? 40% of your CCIE is based on network programmability topics. Yeah, Cisco is clearly sending a message that this is the future of networking. I've been saying this for the past few years. I've been trying to get people on board with network programmability. But yeah, you're going to have to be a master of it to get your CCA. That's going to be 40 whopping percent. And finally, let's talk about recertification requirements today. So if you do pass your exam and you want to get recertified, see, it's on one of these tabs here. Pardon me as I try to find it. Let's see. There it is. There's our recertification policy. In fact, I actually have a slide on this. Let me just show you the slide. There's out on that cisco.com/next level page that I took you to. Up at the top, there's a recertification tab, and it's going to show you how you can get recertified for your CCIE. And you can do it by taking an exam, by getting continuing education credits, or you can do a combination of both. And this kind of breaks it down. For example, if you go to Cisco Live and you attend different kinds of sessions, this table here on screen is showing you how many credits you're going to get for those different sessions. So recertification doesn't necessarily mean you have to take that exam again. You just have to have enough training, maybe go to Cisco Live and take some sessions, and that'll get you recertified. So there's more options for the recertification. The bottom line is, I absolutely love what Cisco has done with their revamp of certifications. I think it's super, super positive. I like the new tracks. I like the way that we're given credit going in for what we've already done. I like how less complicated it is to get some of these certifications. So huge fan. Now let's wrap it up with your challenge of the day. This is the 5-day challenge. So today's challenge is very simple. I want you to tell me in the chat interface what your next move is. Hopefully you've been thinking about, as we've gone through these, you've been thinking about, okay, it makes more sense for me to go after the CCNA or enterprise NP, whatever it is. I want you to tell me your next move and some things to think about. I want you to consider, what is your experience? You might say, oh, collaboration sounds cool, but I've never worked with it before. What are we going to do there? So think about your experience, your expertise, and think about what your company needs. If you go to your supervisor and say, yeah, I really want to get my CCIE in enterprise infrastructure, is that a need for your particular company? Maybe or maybe not. So try to complement your company's needs. And what are you interested in? People often ask, okay, what's going to make me the most money? Where are the most job opportunities? And I tell them, if you get your CCIE as an example, there's going to be opportunities. You're going to be spending so much time in whatever topic area you select, then pick something you're going to like, because you're going to be there for a while. And what's the overall market demand? I would consider that after your interests, but definitely consider overall market demand. And I'd like you to chat in your response. What is the next certification that you're going to be going after? I'm looking at some of the responses coming in now. Somebody says, CCNA seems like a mountain. The current CCNA seems like a mountain. I would say the new one coming up next month is more of a steep hill than a mountain. Let's say I'm seeing CCNP Enterprise, CCNA. Is there still value in getting a CCDE? John is asking. There is no CCDE anymore. That's gone as of next month. You can get your CCNP Enterprise with a design focus. That would be the equivalent to that. Let's see. I already have the CCNA, but from your perspective, I already have a CCNA, but from your perspective, I believe I'm going to go for the new CCNA again, and then go for CCNP Encore. I think that is great because so much has changed. Cisco used to update an exam every few years, and they would never be at the same time. This is like, I love Cisco's term. They're calling it the Cert apocalypse. I always compare it to Thanos snapping his fingers with the Infinity Gauntlet, and all these certifications just poof, they just disappear. And the only remaining one is, for whatever reason, CCNA Cyber Ops. Let's take a look at a couple of other questions, or a couple of other responses coming in. I'm going to schedule my CCNA exam. Somebody's going to try to get T-Shoot in the next month and a half. That's great. Next sort of, okay. CCIE Enterprise, Encore. Gotcha. CCIE Security. Oh, I love it. I admire your courage. That's, like I said, I don't regret getting either of my CCIAs, but just realize it puts a toll on you. All right, let's take your questions now as we start to wrap up today's session. Again, put question marks in front of your responses, and let me just remind you, because these special webinar only offers are going to go away just here in just a few minutes after we close out the webinar. But here's what I got for you. Again, the masterclass is going to be 16 hours live with me plus 4 hours live with me on Saturday for office hours. So like 20 hours live with me where you can ask your questions. It's going to begin next Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Use that link to get your 20% off. That discount expires at midnight. Not only does that discount expire at midnight, expiring right after the webinar is this free cloud computing course that's a $200 or $197 value. If you're at the NP level and you want to start studying Encore right now, like I said, we're probably more than 50% done with the course. We'll be done at the end of February. And if you want to go ahead and start studying for Encore now, I'm going to give you a discount to do that. I'm going to give you 25% off. And if you take action before we close out the webinar, I'm going to give you something you cannot even, right now, you cannot buy either of these bonuses on our website. I'm going to give you this $245 value called the Route and Switch Deep Dives, which will dive really, really deep into some of these enterprise topics. So that's what I've got for you. Now let's take a look at some of our questions that are coming in. And the first one is, if I have my CCNP, I can directly pass CCI Lab? Oh, that's a great question. That's not even a requirement. You know what? I feel like I can communicate to you a little bit better if I'm actually seeing you here. So let me do a little transition thing. Let me get back on screen. I feel like I'm talking to you more personal if I can actually, or you can actually see me on camera. But no. Just like you don't have to have your CCNA to go after your CCNP, even though I think you should, you don't have to have your CCNP to go after your IE. You just have to pass the core exam, which is an NP exam, but you don't have to get that extra specialization. You can just go right for the IE. So CCNP is not a requirement for the IE. I think you should get it. I think it's a good idea, but it is not a requirement. Let's see what else. Do you have a self-paced CCNA for anybody that cannot take this? Yes, I do. 1 second, I'll get you the link for that. Yep, I sure do. And I'm going to paste that link in here for anybody that just wants to do the self-study. They're not able to, for whatever reason, to do the live training. I'll put it in my other chat interface as well. take a look. Let's see. Somebody asking about CCDE. Again, yeah, that's gone. There is going to be no CCDE as of February the 24th. I'm very focused on collaboration. Been working with it since 2008, but due to tight budget constraints, but due to my budget, I can now prepare for the CCA collaboration. I've already got CCNP Voice and Collab. I was thinking a while ago to study SD-WAN and get the new enterprise or go through cloud, but I'm not sure which would be better. I've got mixed opinions on collaboration. Now, I've always considered myself to be like a collaboration guy. That's kind of that's my jam. I love collaboration. I've taught it for decades. Things changed, though, a few years back when Cisco started having their cloud solution where you can have hosted collaboration hosted in the cloud. There became less of a need to focus on communication manager configurations, and the popularity of the exam just dramatically dropped. Like I said, I surveyed my followers, many of which followed me because I'm a collaboration guy. Only 14% said, yeah, collaboration, that's what I'm interested in. So I don't think there's a lot of, there's some, obviously. I think there's a reward for getting a high-level certification no matter which track. Even though I love collaboration, I don't think I would go for it if I was just starting right now. I think cloud is awesome. I think programmability is awesome. I think enterprise, because it covers so many things, I think the enterprise cert, NP, IE, I think those are great to go for. I think there would be the most demand for that, but only if you enjoy it. If you hate BGP, yeah, find something that you like. Let's see. What else? So Jim's been a long-time follower. They said, I've come a long way since KnowledgeNet. Yeah, I actually started teaching for KnowledgeNet. They were an old Cisco learning partner. I started doing that in the year 2000. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while. They said, I've come a long way since then. Let's see. After CCNA, the next exam to prepare for, would that be Encore? Yes. If you're going after the Enterprise NP, it would be Encore. All right. I only meant to go for about an hour today. I'm already over time. Let's see. Right now, we've got joining us. Wow, this is incredible. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Yeah, we've got nearly 500 people still online with us after an hour. Really want to give you a sincere thank you for taking an hour out of your day to spend it with me. I hope it's been valuable. Again, if you're joining me on YouTube and you have not signed up for the 5-day challenge, then you're gonna miss the next 4 days. I'm gonna put that link in the YouTube chat again, so that you can sign up for the Cert Challenge, and you'll be getting an email with a small action step for the next 4 days from me. And at the end of that, you're going to have a game plan and a schedule for going after whatever exam that you identified today. Again, I'm going to get things shut down here in the next few minutes. Now, I realize some people were watching and they had to take a bio break or something. So they might have paused it. They might be like a couple of minutes lag behind where I am right now, and I don't want to knock them out. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you, let me see. I'm going to talk to Siri for just a second. I'll say, set timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes and counting.
Okay, that way that'll give you just a little bit of a grace period. But when that goes off, that'll give me time to get logged in. Yeah, I'm taking away the cloud computing and the route switch deep dives as bonuses. Those are not going to be available in the future. So hopefully that'll help you make the decision, get you off the fence. And like they said in Frozen 2, it'll help you do the next right thing. Thanks a ton, everybody. A lot of great things coming from us this year. Again, next month, be looking for our IT Insider to be introduced, because I don't want to just teach you how to configure routers. I want you to have a successful career that you really enjoy. I want to help you develop skills like organization, and I want and goal setting, and just being happier in life. The older I get, the more I realize that it's not all about just achieving career goals. I want those to complement your life goals. I want it to mesh together where you've got a beautiful life. That's really what I want for you, as corny as that sounds. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of that this year. If you don't follow me on my podcast, you can go out to iTunes, and I've got a podcast called The Broadcast Storm. And I'm on Spotify. Again, the podcast is The Broadcast Storm. Check out my YouTube channel. We've got over 60,000 subscribers there. Just search for Kevin Wallace, Cisco. I'm sure one of my videos will pop up. Thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate it. You got about another 4 minutes or so before the bonus offers, the webinar only offers go away. Be looking for day number 2, where you're going to get your hands dirty and you're actually going to be doing some configuration tomorrow. And it's not going to cost you anything. Don't worry, I'm not telling you to go out and buy something, but I think you'll really enjoy day 2. Thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate your participation, and I look forward to seeing you in another one of these live events very soon. Happy New Year, everyone.